Welcome to Inside the CRCLE with me, Montana Fouts. Today we're going to be talking about developing love for the process. We talk about all the time, process over outcome, but we don't necessarily talk about what that looks like or kind of tackling those situations, especially when the outcome's in a loss. So I feel like the biggest question, and honestly, I loved writing this stuff down because I feel like it made me think a little bit more. My first question was, why do you love it? Because that's what I would say to ask anybody else when we talk about the process. I feel like the biggest thing is like knowing why you do what you do, because the process is hard. It's not easy, right? Like what's the process? The process is you're working hard when nobody else is looking. And the process is when you win, the process when you lose, the process is like figuring out why. Like there's so many different things that we can just tack up to this is the process. But to be able to conquer the process, we got to figure out why we love it and why we're doing it to start with. So I just feel like at one point my answer was, and I don't think this is a bad thing, but like I loved it because I loved playing with my teammates. I loved playing for my coaches, previous schools. Like I loved the team culture. Like I love just being the best I can for those people around me. Okay, well, when you graduate college, and at this point for me, when I graduated college, I wasn't necessarily playing pro. Like I was hurt. I basically took 2 years off when you look back. I basically took 2 years off, and in that time, I didn't have any of those things I just listed to you. I didn't have other people to want to play for, to want to work hard for. So then I learned that I love it for me. Like I don't necessarily just love it for those reasons, and that could sound selfish, and that's fine, but I do think sometimes whenever you are in the middle of the process, when you are in the thick of the storm, all the things, like you have to also want it for you. Like Now, I feel like I love it because I love how hard it is. I love that it's not easy and not everybody else can do it. Like specifically softball as a sport, but especially pitching too. And I know that hitting and fielding are basically their own sports. Like you've got pitching, hitting, fielding. You can go ahead and tack the mental game as its own sport too. Like softball is just so hard and pitching is so hard, and it can be different every day if you let it. But I just feel like I love diving head first into something so hard, coming up with a plan and executing it and like giving 100% every day. And I love like the evaluation process. Now I do. I feel like now that when I took time by myself, when you figure out why you love it, the answer cannot just be, I love playing with my team. At least for me, like that was not enough for me whenever I graduated because I didn't have that. So now I love the process of seeing how good we can get. I love having a hard bullpen one day, and like I'm talking like gloves thrown against the wall. I'm not suggesting you do that, but sometimes you got to let it out. And then the next day, working on exactly what it was that ticked you off and conquering it the next day or that same day. Anyway, I just feel like it's such a mental game, especially when you work so hard physically, that it turns into a mental game. So it's like, I love that back and forth that happens within me. And I love that now I'm able to really separate like my softball life and my life, if that makes any sense. Like those are two different people. And I like to keep them a little bit separate because, you know, we talk about like, I'm worth more than the outcome of my performance, right? But that doesn't mean that I can't like fully buy into the lifestyle. Like softball's not who I am, but I'm not bigger than the game. Does that make sense? Like it's a game within the game. And what I mean by that is like softball, pitching, performance, winning, all of those things, like I love very much. However, when I take a step back, my self-worth is not determined by any of those things, but I am also not bigger than the game. There's so many things, there's so many people, there's so many life lessons, there's so many opportunities within the game that will humble you. And that's another reason I love it. Anyway, figure out why you love it. Oh, I love this one. And I don't remember where I heard it, where I read it, or whatever it is, but it's instead of taking things personally, make them personal. And what I mean by that is instead of letting things kind of attack you and then they just happen and that's it, a bad outing happens. Okay, yeah, that sucks, but I'm going to make it personal. And what is my process to make sure that I get better from what just happened? and I'm going to learn from it, and it's not going to happen again, at least in that way, because I can learn from these situations. And I feel like that is a part of the process, because like all of these things are going to happen, and it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, but it's like, what's your process for dealing with these things? So for me, prep, perform, evaluate, execute. So first we're going to tackle prep. Prep is your self-talk. How are you talking to yourself before, during, and after? What's your strength like? Is your body prepared? I feel like there's a level of confidence, like when you know that you've worked hard and you've given your body the best chance it has to be successful, whether it's strength, mechanical things, like whatever it is, like have I put in the practice? So that strength on your body matters. Imagination. I think that is so important. Can you visualize success? Can you block out visualizing failures? Like, can you imagine the best thing possible? And how can you separate that from all the negative things? And I'm talking like in the off season. That's one of my favorite things to do, is I like to pull from my memory bank of things that actually happened that was successful that helped me go to sleep at night, right? Or like, how can I make up situations in my head? How can I make up a situation with a full stadium crowd, bases loaded, full count, I got the ball? I can't wait. Like that's the stuff that keeps me excited. And that's the reason I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, always have that in your back pocket, because your imagination is not ignorant. Like your brain doesn't know the difference between fake and real. So it's like I constantly am playing successful moments in my head, because why not? It's basically like a cheat code. The next for your prep is being uncomfortable. Like make yourself uncomfortable. And you can do that with imagination too, but like whether it's in your workouts, it's when you're pitching or you're hitting, put yourself in a situation where it's like, okay, I need to get this done right now for the team. Bases are loaded, bat or ball is in my hand, whatever it is. Like make yourself uncomfortable in practice, mentally and physically. And that is a part of your prep, because it's going to happen in a game, so we might as well practice it. A next part of your prep would be routine, your reps. Like, what does your routine look like? What is something that you can control before you even go to the field? When you're at the field, how do you put your cleats on? What's the prep, like your daily drills? Like, what is it that you like to do to put yourself in a good physical go time state of mind? And taking those quality and quantity reps. I really think like, yes, it's quality over quantity, but at the same time, it's both. Like, how can I get really good at taking reps? Whether it's pitching, hitting, fielding, whatever it is, and then how can we do a lot of them? So I think that is really important when it talks about your prep. On and off the field, I think making sure that you are doing a lot of things off the field that you love and enjoy will make it the biggest difference, because it's like, it just can't all be centered around one thing. It can be a lifestyle, but it's not who you are. Second is perform, and that is what I like to think of as just go time. So if it's not for me, if it's not for the team, then it's not time for that. What I mean, a lot of that is mentality. So like if there's voices in your head that's like second guessing, or if it's like, oh, here. No, I've been there, I've done that, babe. You're not getting to me. If it's not going to help me or the team succeed, you do not have room up here. Let me tell you that right now. I do not have room in this head for positive and negative talk, and you don't either. So whenever it's time to perform and it's time to put your prep to work, it's no longer about all the second guessing. We don't have room for that. And I know that I can't be my best self if we've got the ants crawling up in here. Ants can't. We don't say can't, right? You guys have heard that, been there, done that. Well, it's very real, and your body wants to replicate what your brain tells it to. So we don't have room for both. Third is evaluate. This is probably the biggest part of the process, because this is after you perform. So it's either really going to go good, bad. There is some in between, but how you talk to yourself after is very important. So what did you do well? What could I have done better? Was it physical or was it mental? I think those are 3 really big questions, because what did I do well? You have to be able to give yourself a pat on the back, babe. Like, be able to recognize whenever your hard work pays off, or recognize a great performance. Like, duh, if we're going to talk to ourselves nicely, we got to be able to say, you know what, that was pretty good. Like, I worked really hard on that. Like, good job. Like, you can do that too. What could I have done better? Yeah. The answer is not, should not be, well, the whole game, it was all bad. Okay. Be specific. Like, is it, like, was it a certain pitch? Was it your leg drive? Was it your effort? Were you not locked in? Like, all of the things. Like, be able to be specific, because if you're not specific, you're going to tack that up to just like nothing. And then that is the failure. The failure would not be able to pinpoint exactly what you want to be able to do better at, because then you can't come up with a plan. If you can't come up with a plan, then that is a failure. Okay? Keep in mind, hang with me, was it mental or physical? Because I feel like the older that you get and the more that you practice, it's going to be more than just physical. Like, you practice so hard, you work so hard. At least I know that I have not necessarily always set myself up for success mentally. I've not always set myself up for success mentally. And what I mean by that is, like, am I selling out for every pitch? Am I stepping up on the mound, know what pitch I want to throw, visualize it, see it succeed, tackle it, go 100% each pitch. There's been times where it's like second guessing a pitch and then I give up a hit. And it's like, well, we can just go ahead and tack that up to my mentality because I wasn't able to sell out and go 100% for that pitch. So I feel like being able to evaluate and really be able to pinpoint is what's going to help you do the next one, and that is execute. So when you execute, you're going to develop a plan based off of your evaluation. So that is why it's so important to be able to, like, take your emotions out of it after your performance. My biggest thing is eat dinner, because I'm a hangry girl. Eat dinner, lunch, whatever it is. Give yourself 30 minutes, pen and paper, or whoever, a trusted adult, right? And be able to really, or your teammate, right? Like, be able to talk through things that shoulda, coulda, woulda. Write them down and learn from it, right? Like, it's not like we're living in the past, but you've got to be able to take your performance, good, bad, and be able to say, how can I have been better in these situations? What was it that really maybe not do what I wanted to do on the field? And then be able to execute the plan. So prep, perform, evaluate, execute. I think that is the biggest part of the process that really takes the emotions out of it, because we all have big goals, right? And there's going to be lots of bumps and bruises on the journey, right? But that is the journey. The journey isn't just the championship, isn't just the trophy, isn't just the medal. It's the bumps and bruises in between. It's the process in between. And it's all those things that you learn along the way, which is so cliche, but it's so true, because your life is going to be more than just one game. It's going to be more than just one championship or one outing, one perfect game, whatever it is. Like, if you can really be able to tackle, that is the process. Like, being able to put in words, time, effort is more than just the outcome. Like, all of those things is a win in itself. So being able to really take a step back, figure out why you love it, and what's your process for loving it the best that you can.